This is SB19, the P-pop group that has smashed Billboard charts, sold out arenas, and built a global fan base that rivals some of the biggest names in music. But what you see today, of polished, powerful idols, isn't the whole story. To understand how they really made it, you have to go back to a time when they had nothing. When they were five boys trained to be stars, but were denied the one thing that should have guaranteed their success. This is the real story of how SB19 defied the odds and broke the system. To get why SB19's rise feels so impossible, you first have to understand the system they were born from, but were never really a part of. In the late 2010s, K-pop's global dominance was undeniable. The formula was proven: find raw talent, put them through years of grueling, systematic training, and launch them with the full backing of a corporate machine built for world domination. It was a model of discipline, precision, and massive resources. And in the Philippines, a Korean entertainment company, SB19, wanted to replicate that magic. And that's where five boys, Pablo, Josh, Stel, Ken, and Justin, stepped onto the scene. They were handpicked for their potential and thrown right into the fire of a Korean-style training regimen. The discipline was intense. The rehearsals pushed them to their physical and mental limits. They were drilled on the complex choreography, the stable vocals, and the synchronized perfection that K-pop is famous for. On paper, it was the dream start. They were getting the blueprint that had created global superstars. But here's the untold story. They got the K-pop method, but not the K-pop system. The real Korean idol system is an entire ecosystem. It's decades of infrastructure, huge financial investment, and established pipelines into music shows, variety programs, and brand deals. In many ways, it's a national project with a global distribution network ready to go. SB19 had none of that. They were training in a small room in the Philippines, a country where the idea of a P-pop idol group was still a novelty, often met with skepticism or even ridicule. There was no guaranteed debut stage on a major music show. There was no giant PR budget. There were no senior groups from their company to pave the way. Instead, they faced financial hardship so real that members often had to choose between a meal and a ride to the studio. They carried the emotional weight of leaving jobs and family for a dream with no safety net. While trainees in Korea are part of a massive structured pipeline, SB19's growth was largely on them. Improving their skills wasn't about having a huge team of specialized coaches. It was about their own drive and the support they gave each other. Pablo, as the leader, pushed them. Stel, with his vocal talent, guided them. They became each other's teachers, brothers, and support system out of pure necessity. This environment didn't just build their skills, it forged a resilience that couldn't be broken. They were being trained for a system that didn't exist for them, in an industry that didn't know it needed them yet. They were given the tools to be idols, but were left to build the stage, the audience, and the empire all on their own. For years, SB19 operated in near total obscurity. Their official debut in 2018 with the ballad Tilalua barely made a ripple. They performed in malls to small crowds and released music that went unnoticed. The dream they had sacrificed everything for felt like it was slipping away. By their own accounts, they were on the verge of giving up, with disbandment feeling like a very real option. They decided to give it one last shot, one more song, one more performance. That song was Go Up. Go Up was more than just their second single. It was a desperate prayer sent to a beat. The lyrics were a raw expression of their ambition, a plea for the world to finally see them. They recorded a dance practice video for it, not a glossy, high-budget music video, but an unfiltered showcase of their energy and desperation in a simple practice room. They posted it, hoping for the best, but expecting nothing. For a while, that's exactly what they got. And then, it happened. A single fan on Twitter, blown away by their skill, posted the video with a caption that basically said, "You guys are sleeping on this Filipino boy group." That one tweet was the spark. It was retweeted a few times, then a few hundred, then thousands. The algorithm took notice, and suddenly, the Go Up dance practice video was being served to people all over the world. This wasn't some big-budget marketing campaign. It was pure, organic, grassroots virality. People who had never heard of P-pop were completely mesmerized. They saw the razor-sharp choreography, the undeniable charisma, and most importantly, they felt the hunger. It was the look of a group with nothing to lose, giving everything they had. The Go Up moment is the most important turning point in their career because it proved that raw talent and authentic passion could bypass the industry's traditional gatekeepers. They didn't need a major label to break them or a spot on a primetime show. They just needed one person to see them, who then showed another, who then showed the world. The video's explosion was a digital wildfire, spreading from fan to fan, and it was a phenomenon no marketing budget could ever replicate. It was the moment the world finally woke up, and for SB19, it was the moment their long climb finally found its first real foothold. The viral success of Go Up wasn't a fleeting moment. It was the birth of a movement. The people who discovered them didn't just become casual listeners. They became atin. And if SB19's talent was the spark, atin was the fuel that turned it into an inferno. The name itself, atin, sounds like 18, a nod to their group name, but it also means ours in Filipino, a declaration of a shared journey. This wasn't just a fandom, it was a partnership. Suddenly, SB19 was on the radar. Invitations for TV shows and larger events started rolling in. But the mainstream Philippine music industry quickly realized that SB19 didn't come alone. They came with an army. 18 became one of the most organized and powerful fan bases in music. They understood that the group's viral break was a fluke, and that sustaining it would require deliberate, coordinated effort. This is where SB19's path splits dramatically from the K-pop model. In K-pop, an agency uses its industry connections to secure promotions. SB19 was still an independent group under a small company, and major local labels were hesitant to embrace them. A 5-member idol group singing in their native tongue was an unproven concept in an industry dominated by solo balladeers and Western-style pop. So, A10 became their record label, their PR firm, and their street team all in one. They organized streaming parties to get their songs on the charts. They coordinated voting efforts for awards, often overpowering the fan bases of more established artists. They flooded radio stations with requests. It was this fan-driven momentum that eventually pushed SB19 onto Billboard's charts, like the World Digital Song Sales and Social 50, a feat once unthinkable for a P-pop group. Their track, Gento, didn't just become a hit. It became a global dance challenge, fueled entirely by fans on social media. This fan power created a feedback loop. The more A10 championed them, the more the industry had to pay attention. The more attention they got, the more A10 grew. This grassroots movement proved that the power was shifting from record labels to the collective will of a passionate audience. SB19's rise wasn't just a success for the 5 members. It was a victory for their fans, a demonstration that an audience could build a kingdom for their chosen kings when the traditional gatekeepers refused to open the gates. With fame came a new challenge, the K-pop copycat accusation. In the early days, because they were trained under a Korean system, many critics dismissed them as mere imitators. It was an easy critique, but one that questioned their very identity. Were they just a Filipino version of a Korean product? Or were they something new? Instead of breaking them, the criticism lit a fire. They didn't just want to be successful, they wanted to be understood. And the only way to do that was to seize creative control and infuse their work with an identity that was undeniably their own. This evolution came from within the group, led by their leader, Pablo, who stepped up as a primary songwriter and producer. This was a radical move away from the standard idol model. The members began writing about their own lives, their culture, and their homeland. They made a conscious choice to lean into their Filipino identity, not as a gimmick, but as their core strength. Their music became their answer. Songs like What served as a thunderous declaration of intent, loud, aggressive, and unapologetic. The lyrics directly address their haters, while the video is a rich tapestry of Filipino symbolism. They started branding their music as P-pop, a genre they were now actively pioneering. They were taking the production value they had learned and using it as a vessel for Filipino stories. Then came songs like Mapa, a heartfelt ballad that became a cultural touchstone in the Philippines for its tribute to parental sacrifice. And of course, Gento, which brilliantly mixed Filipino slang with powerful beats, catapulting them to new global recognition and landing on Billboard's World Digital Song Sales chart. Each release proved their originality, blending OPM, original Filipino music, hip-hop, and EDM with their unique perspective. This artistic evolution was their ultimate answer to the critics. It showed that their K-pop training was a foundation, not a creative straitjacket. It gave them the skills, but their hearts provided the soul. They proved P-pop wasn't about copying K-pop, but about rising alongside it, using a global standard of performance to tell local stories to a global audience. They were no longer just boys trained like K-pop idols. They had become the undisputed kings of P-pop. For most artists, reaching the level of success SB19 had would be the end goal. They'd hit the charts, won awards, and built a global following. But for a group that defied established systems, the next logical step wasn't just to join a new one. It was to build their own. In late 2023, they made their boldest move yet. They left their original agency and launched their own self-managed label, 1Z Entertainment. This was a massive gamble, trading relative security for the immense responsibility of running their own company. Pablo, their leader, took on the role of CEO. It was the ultimate act of self-determination. With 1Z Entertainment, they finally had what the idol system is designed to withhold from artists: full, unadulterated control. Under 1Z, their creative freedom became absolute. They now had the final say on everything: music, concepts, and business strategy. This immediately showed in their work, with albums like Haksibol and Pagtatag serving as deeply personal statements about their journey. They successfully transitioned from being products of a system to being the architects of their own destiny. Talent was now officially owning the system, not the other way around. But the story doesn't end there. In early 2026, 1Z Entertainment announced it was opening auditions for new P-pop artists. This was a profound full-circle moment. The boys who had struggled through an under-resourced training system were now building a new one from the ground up. They weren't just creating a company for themselves. They were laying the foundation for the next generation of P-pop. The qualifications they sought went beyond just raw talent. They were looking for artists who were multi-talented and self-sufficient. They are building a curriculum that includes not just singing and dancing, but character building and innovation, the very qualities they had to develop on their own to survive. This is the ultimate vindication of their journey. They succeeded not just without Korea's idol system, but in it of it. They took the discipline it taught them and discarded the corporate constraints. And now, they are paying it forward, building a sustainable, authentic, and uniquely Filipino P-pop industry. They didn't just break the mold. They're now casting a new one in their own image. SB19's journey is one of the most inspiring stories in modern music. It's a testament to talent, perseverance, and the power of community. What moment in SB19's journey inspires you the most? Was it the viral Go Up video, the release of a specific song, or their decision to build one Z? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the stories behind the music, make sure to like and subscribe. So, why did SB19 succeed without Korea's idol system? The answer is simple yet powerful. They succeeded because they had to do it without the system. The lack of a safety net made them resilient. The lack of an industry push forced them to build a real community with their fans. The criticism forced them to forge an identity that was bulletproof. Their story redefines what it means to be an idol. They aren't just flawless performers packaged for the public. They are artists who have bled for their craft, businessmen who have bet on themselves, and cultural ambassadors who have carried their flag to the global stage. They are proof that while a system can provide a blueprint, it takes raw talent, relentless hard work, and an unbreakable spirit to build an empire on your own terms.